Welcome to Syngap Research Fund webinar number 100. Is that right, Lauren? Is this number 100?
How about
Amazing.
that? I
Amazing.
know.
We've been at this for a while. So this webinar, we are going to be walking through Virginie, our president and COO, will be walking through our very first impact report, the impact report we did for 2024. This is something we've been thinking about for a couple of years, but we finally got it together with Virginie's help. Honestly, I said we just need a document we can share with people to tell them what we did in 2024, 5 to 10 pages, no big deal. And Virginie's like, that's not good enough, Mike. We need better. I was like, oh, okay, go crazy. So here we get. This is what happens when you tell Virginie to go crazy. And I love it. And we're going to update this every year. But it's important, I think, for our donors, for our family, as SRF gets bigger and bigger and we engage with more and more partners, we need to be able to explain all the things we do. And it's just gotten too complicated to fit into a conversation. So now we have this beautiful document. And with no further ado, I want to hand it over to Virginie to take us through the document so that we can share this with others.
Thank you, Mike.
And I'm sorry, one more thing.
Go
I
ahead.
see people are coming in. If you're watching this on Facebook, just go ahead and join the Zoom so you can ask us questions. We'll do Q&A at the end, but if you have questions while we're talking, please feel free to put them in the chat. With that, for reals this time, over to you, Virginie.
All right, thank you, Mike. And I want to say this was everything we do at SRF, this was a team effort. Many people were involved in creating this document, so I want to thank everyone that participated in creating this document. It was really a love project for the team. I think everyone is proud of what we do at SRF and wanted to really showcase that in this impact report. And I want to give a special shout out to Amber and Ed on creating this beautiful report. We are really proud of it and excited to walk you through this today. So let me go. Okay, let's not start. It's our first time sharing directly from Canvas, so let me see how that works. All right. You'll have access to this document on our website. So I'm going to go through some of the slides I'm going to skip, and I'm going to go through. This is Mike's letter, beautiful letter that you can read. But I'm gonna spend more time on some specific slides. So first, who we are, who is SRF? So SRF is the largest Syngap organization. We are family-led and volunteer-driven. We are a 501c3, and our mission is to improve the life of patients and families suffering from Syngap. Our goal is to find treatment and cures as fast as we can for all Syngap patients. And we do that by partnering with industry and leaders in the DE community. Our mantra is collaboration, transparency, and urgency, and everything we do is really following that mantra. Our strategic area we follow is awareness, education, and support for our community, and supporting research and advancing treatment and cures. The way we are structured, we have 9 core volunteer groups. We have community activation, advocacy, communication marketing, effective partnership, our conference team, fundraising, MedSci, finance, ops. We are a big team. It requires a lot of volunteers, and you'll see the numbers further down. But it's a big operation, and we're really proud of the organization and the teams that we built. I don't know if Mike, you have anything that you want to add about the organization and the family that we've created. No.
I think your point is dead on. I think people need to understand it's a large operation, and there's room for a lot of volunteers, and it's science is just one of those teams. So I think people shouldn't hesitate to volunteer if they don't feel like they can track the science. There's still a lot of ways people can get involved.
Yep. So what is Syngap? What is that disease that we're supporting? It's a devastating disorder, and these are what you're seeing on those are words on on the page: epilepsy, intellectual disability, autism, behaviors, sleep issues, speech problems, eating problems, GI, psychiatric, gait problems, sensory processing disorder, hypotonia. So this is a list of issues that we just usually, you know, give out, but really our kids are suffering, our families are suffering. They have multiple medications. They do not have a good quality of life. And this is what we're fighting. This is what we're fighting for. And this is what we need treatments really yesterday. And this is what we need to work as fast as we can to find treatment soon. So this is not a light disorder. And our families are dealing with a lot of challenges. All right, so what are we doing about it? I'm really proud of this slide. I think this is really the core of what SRF does. In the last 6 years, we've invested over $6 million in research. And we're going about it in we think, a really smart and strategic way. We have 7 scientific programs. The first one is basic and translational science. So what is basic science? It just studies it looks at everything at the cell and tissue level. Translational looks at the designing and testing different types of medicine for Syngap. Purpose, that's a really exciting program that you're going to hear more and more about, and especially this year and in the upcoming years. This is looking at existing medicines that are approved, they're already approved, and looking at how they can help kids now. So we're investing more on this. SMART is our medicines program, and this is looking at the VUS in our community and trying to figure out are they pathogenic, are they benign, and if they're pathogenic, what are the disease mechanism on those, and trying to find effective treatment for those, trying to understand more the missense variant and see if we can eventually identify more effective treatment for those individuals affected by missense variants. SBOM, that's biomarker and endpoints. That's a very important program. I mean, they're all important, obviously, but that's becoming more and more important as we get into clinical trials. This is biomarkers and endpoints will help us figure out if the treatments are effective. Facilitate, these are all of our biorepository, IPCSC lines, mice models, etc. SRDC, I always mess up the letters on that one. That's our Syngap 1 related disorders characterization. That's pretty much understanding, getting a really good understanding of the disorder. And Syngap 1 Promise, I'm sure you've heard of that. I hope you've heard of this. This is our natural history study. We have in 2024, when the impact report was done, we had 2 clinics. We had CHOP in Colorado. And this year we just announced that we are opening a 3rd clinic in Stanford. So this is a very exciting program, and Syngap 1 the Promise program really falls under SRDC. So these are all of our program, really exciting, really important, and this is what we do to really move forward on research and accelerate our. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I said 2 points. I think on SMART, what you said, Virginia, was that we're trying to find medicines to help our patients with missense, and that's true. But we're also trying to make sure patients with missense get diagnosed. So it's really crystal clear from a genetic report when a patient has a protein truncating variant that's unambiguous, because again, all protein truncating variants behave the same, but every missense variant is unique. And so the problem we have is every single missense variant, if we haven't seen it before, we're not sure that people aren't sure how to classify it. So patients may not even be told it's disease causing or pathogenic. And that's a big part of SMART. So there's and the bang for the buck there has been amazing. Like what we've spent versus what we've achieved is really remarkable. We've built tools that are available to clinicians right now who can use that. So that's a big part of SMART. And then on SRDC, I always like to remind people, the first Syngap patient was diagnosed in 2009. And that was in a paper in the New England Journal of Medicine. One does not get into the New England Journal of Medicine just coming up. You know, this is a big deal. We created this, we identified a brand new human disease. So that was 16 years ago. So we are still desperately trying to get into the literature a description of our patients. Dr. Andrade with SRF support is still working on our study of adults. You know, only yesterday I shared in my podcast the Gillian McKee paper is out, which also continues to elucidate Syngapians. But it's just to point out this is live work that we have to be doing to keep our disease front and center for the scientific and medical community. And it's I just wanted to make those 2 points. Thanks. This is good.
Oh, great points. The next 3 slides are, I'm not going to go through them in detail. You can look at them in the actual impact report. But over the last 6 years, we did fund 51 grants over multiple universities, different countries, and we've laid them all out and broken them down by the different programs. So you have access to look at that and what the projects were, the amount of money that we spent, and the program that it was related to. So you can look at that. Maybe there you go. All right. Just a quick, I'm not going to go through, we have 3 slides coming up, one on promise, one on SMART, and one on our purpose. There's more detail. You can look at it. I'm not going to go through them and talk at length on this, but I do want to say something about promise. In 2024, we had 92 patients. When the impact report was done, which was in December, we had 92 patients that went to between Colorado and CHOP. We are now at 100 patients, which is exciting, very exciting. And like I said, we just opened Stanford, which is a 3rd site. So this is a very exciting program. We're collecting a lot of really good data. And like Mike said, Jill from CHOP, Jill McKee, has been publishing some really good paper that are really helping move the needle on understanding Syngap. Do you have anything else to add, Mike, on promise?
Just that it's, you know, there's a lot of reasons that we can explain about the need for a natural history study facilitating trials, which is why SRF is investing so heavily in promise. But it's also true that this is a chance for you to spend a day with a lot of clinicians and get the best possible advice and care about your kids. And then within a relationship established with either Dr. Abbott at Colorado or Dr. McKee at Philadelphia or Dr. Knowles or Lee Messer at Stanford, you then have an expert doctor who's seen your kid who can consult with your local neurologist. So we want you to do this because the data in the natural history study is essential for clinical trials, but you should want to do this because our kids need the best possible expert care, and that's what they're going to find at these sites.
Yep. And we do offer travel support. I want to say that in 2024, we supported 19 families and I represented a total of $16,000. So we're really proud of that. And we do have grants already that we received for 2025. So please use those resources to go and take your kids to those sites. All right, this is purpose. Again, there's a lot of really good information on that slide, and that's our repurposing program on looking at existing medicine and how we can use, how they could help our kids sooner than maybe the gene therapies. The Missense program, SMART, you can look at more information here. All right, how do we know, it's sometimes hard to see and measure our impact as research it's moving fast, but it's also like I say, it's hard to measure really our impact at SRF. But one key measure that we can look at is publications. And in 2024, what was really exciting to see was that there were 54 Syngap One public publications, 311 total publications since 1998. So 2024 was a really good year, and we won more and more publications out there on Syngap One, right? We won more and more knowledge out there in the public domain on Syngap One. And 14 of those publications were directly, and SRF contributed directly to those publications, either from recruitment standpoint or funding efforts. So we're really proud of that, and we hope 2025 will exceed those numbers. I should have checked before I went on that webinar.
You should just listen to my podcast that came out yesterday, because I said
Oh.
we're at 13 publications so far year to date. So it's basically coming out at one a week.
Yeah.
And with all the craziness at the NIH, I think we should mention that too. With all of the changes happening at the federal level, SRF's funding is ever more important. So what we're doing and the funds we give are at least as crucial as they ever have been, because there's now great uncertainty around federal funding. So that's a point we should have made. The point I'll make here is, I would say we were on track, given the momentum around Syngap, for the 2025 bar to be at least as high as 2024. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how this year goes. Anyway, it's a huge accomplishment. Again, first human, and this chart starts at 1998 because that's when the gene was discovered. The first human was 2009. So this is what you want to see. You want to see a sustained uptick in scientific and clinical interest, and that's what this chart is telling you.
Well, and then you can see one, because obviously we're trying to show our impact as SRF. You can clearly see on the chart when SRF started as an organization, the very clear uptick in publications as well.
Yeah.
All right. This is one of my favorite slide of all time, and it's on our website, and the one on our website is updated. So this is the 2024 slide, and if you pull up the one on our website, it's already updated, which is, it's exciting to me because it shows you how quickly things move. It feels like things are moving slowly, but it's not. There's already more pharma on the slide on our website, and things have moved. The green arrows have moved closer to preclinical, that's what we want to see. And what I want to say, and Mike, I will turn that one to you, because this is you working really hard on the partnership with pharma companies, and that's really you've done a really good job on that. But that's a big part of our work, is building strong partnerships with those pharma companies, making sure they have everything they need to keep the work on Syngap and to keep moving as fast as they can, and to keep adding companies to that pipeline. That's the key, because we never know which ones are going to go to human trials, to the FDA. And so that's really the work of SRF, is to just make sure we have all the options that we can have for our families. So I don't know what, Mike, you want to add to that, but that's one of my favorite slides. And I encourage families to look at our website on a regular basis, because that slide is updated frequently. We talk to companies every week and we update it.
I would just say here that, the purple is small molecule, right? That's the regular drugs that that already exist and are easy to make. And the green is genetic therapies, different kinds of genetic therapies that will go to the root cause of the problem, the brain, and help the brain make more Syngap, or make the Syngap we have last longer, or whatever. And those fall into ASOs and AAVs. I would ignore the cell therapy one. That's that one didn't work out. But the ASOs are what I would expect to happen sooner, because relatively speaking, they're a little simpler. The AAVs they're coming. They're just not going to move as fast. So I think when you see this, the purple is molecules that we are in human right now. Rubera is doing fenfluramine. Wheel Cornell is doing Ravicti. We have Tanganil and NALL in humans right now. Some of the things we have found from Unravel are in humans. Frankly, the rare base one, I'm assuming our current one is in humans because I mean my kid's on one of those drugs. So the small molecules are all there. The ASOs, really what we want to see is one of those green arrows by ASO move to human trials, because that will mean that somebody had invested a lot of money, number one. Number two, we're going to start finding better answers to the question, what happens when you fix a syngapian mid-flight, right? What happens when you take someone born with Syngap and you add Syngap to a living brain? And I expect one of those arrows, I hope and pray and expect one of those arrows to move over in the next year or so. So it's a very important time, and Virginia's exactly right. This is one of the most important slides. Just go to our website, type timeline. And people say, is there really ever going to be a cure? Is this really happening? This is the slide you show them. This is real. And to be clear, when SRF started, this slide was blank.
Right.
So something's working.
It is working. But the next slide is why this is it's an ugly slide. Sorry, Amber, to say it, and I take full responsibility of the ugliness. It's not Amber. She tried to make it as pretty as possible, but there's a lot of information on it. Like Mike said, we need our job at SRF and our focus in the next, year is to make sure all those arrows are moving to clinical trials. And to do that, there's really 4 pillars. If you were at the conference, you probably heard Anna Mignoranza talk about this. She literally walked through those pillars. Her presentation was excellent, and it is natural. We need a strong natural history study. And so, what are we doing at SRF to have a strong natural history study? We have the retrospective natural history study, which is Citizen. So if you're not on Citizen yet, please sign up. It's really easy. It takes you 5 minutes now. And then we pull that data from your existing medical records. So there's nothing easier than this. Then there's the prospective natural history study. So retrospective, it's like from your existing medical records, we get the data from everything that's been there. Prospective natural history study is that you go to one of the Syngap clinic, and then you go there every 6 months. And so they're starting to see the progression and how, every 6 months they're going to gather data. And that's the prospective natural history study. And then there's going to be patient-reported outcome. So we're going to start sending out surveys that we're going to ask you to fill out, and it's going to be really important. And then we're going to we're building a disease concept model, or it's built. But those are like the key points that are very important to build the natural history studies for de-risking clinical trials. The next point, which we talked about in our SBOM program, are biomarkers. There are things that we are doing on our end, but there are things that we need the community. One of them is Fraser. If you have not signed up for Fraser, please do. This is a great tool. It's from your computer. It's super easy to sign up. It's super easy to do. It's like, 15, 20 minutes to do. It's eye tracking. Anyway, just please do it. There's going to be surveys, same thing. EEG, we're looking at EEG biomarkers. And then I'm not going to go through the whole list, but this is, again, very important work. Regulatory, as you can see, this one is a little light of a pillar. We do have the ICD-10 code, and that was a huge achievement for our community. Many organizations in the rare disease space, and unfortunately, do not have the ICD-10 code, which is a whole other conversation of why it's absolutely ridiculous. but we were able to get one. And that is a big achievement for us. This year, we do need to start engaging more with the FDA. And I hope next year when we release our next impact report, that column will have more items in what we've done on the regulatory side. So if you're a parent and you are passionate about regulatory engagement and FDA engagement, please let us know. But we just launched a survey this past week, and you guys were great at filling it out. Those are things that are already in progress, and you're showing up. So this is great. Mike talked about unmet needs. Those are the things that we need to start conveying to the regulators. Patient recruitment. This is where our community shines, and we have an incredible reputation, and we've built a really good recruitment process. I want to say big kudos to Corey and her team, the ambassadors. They've done a really good job on the recruiting side. I think we're getting swamped with study requests. We're filtering those. And why? Because they know that when they ask us to recruit, we fill studies really quickly. We actually just recently, I've been told, just please slow down. We cannot fulfill you're sending us patients too fast. So please slow down on recruitment. That happens on a regular basis. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for responding when we put out some studies out there. But that's important, right? That's when it comes to clinical trials, that's what companies want to see, that we are able to recruit. We have an engaged community, and that when it's going to be time for clinical trials, that our community is going to be ready, and we'll fill those trials. Do you have anything else to add, Mike, to that clinical trial? No? All right. So community engagement, right? We're talking about how incredible our community is, and how are we doing to engage our community? So first, it's connecting with our families and finding patients. For us, it's really important to connect as early as possible. We all know that early diagnosis and intervention is critical. Building a support network is important. And then as soon as we get, the more patients we find, the better our data is going to be. But it's also, when you have families in each community, that increases awareness too on Syngap One, and it allows to broaden the awareness and the reach in each community. So this is kind of, connecting families to each other, connecting them to our organization is what we're trying to do, and finding more and more patients is always our goal. We are trying to be everywhere, probably in your face all the time. If you're a Syngap family, we are on Facebook, on all the social platforms, on all format, webinar, podcasts, blogs, social posts, you name it. I think we're trying to find the right format to reach families in a different way, because parents are all busy, and we want to make sure we can reach families where they're at. And we have a lot of information to share, and we have to make sure that they get it where they need it, where they at. I'm really bad at explaining where I'm at right now. Mike, help me. Doing a terrible job.
No, you're not. You're not. We are working hard to connect with families, and that is, we all remember when we were diagnosed and the first couple of people we talked
Right.
to, and volunteering with SRF and getting involved. If you're a parent, an uncle, an aunt, a grandparent, a friend, You can be one of those families who helps us connect with other patients. The reason people are going to spend money, to go back to the previous couple of slides, on clinical trials is because they believe that SRF and the broader Syngap community can and will deliver patients to those trials. The way we are going to be able to deliver patients to those trials is by building a strong community, supporting each other, and being connected to each other. So we all need to be in open house mode. We all need to be in, oh, you have a Syngapian, come over, let's talk. Because when it's go time, those friendships are going to really matter when you have questions and when things are changing and when you're not sure what to do and when you need a different doctor or whatever, right? We can't answer all those calls all the time. That's why this community, and we all know that no one outside of the house gets it. That was one thing that came crystal clear with my episode 166 on unmet need. So building this community is all of our work, and it's in all of our interest. We keep talking about everything we're asking you to do, and I keep saying, yeah, sort of, but really you'd be crazy not to do it because your kid is sick. And if you're not active in this community and you're not accelerating SRF's work, you're not doing things that you can and should be doing for your own sanity and for your kids' well-being. And if you don't believe that's true, and you've got a better idea for how you can help your sanity and help your kids' well-being, let me know what it is.
Yeah.
Because Virginie and I and Lauren on the screen right now, we're working nonstop because we think this is the best way to improve the future for Syngapians, and this is just a constant invitation to join us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And then the other thing too is we are collaborating with international partners, right? We have the Syngap Global Network and the SRF Collective, which is SRF UK, Australia, Europe, and El Fondo. And it's really important for us we are global. We don't have a lot of patients diagnosed yet in the world, and it's important for us to partner with the global community as well. So we're a big family, and we want to make sure we are in constant communication with our international partner as well. All right, which leads me to talk about the census. Identifying, when we talk about getting ready for clinical trial and identifying patients, it's hard to find families and account for families, really to know. We're getting asked a lot, Mike and I, how many families how many patients' families are really out there? And the best guess is, we point to the census, and that number is as of December 2024. And this is a really important number, right? Because those are families that we know we can reach out to. And the census is a great collaboration from all the different Syngap partners around the world, all the leaders, and then we come together, and Jess Duggan is the one organizing this and coordinating it. And every quarter, everyone shares their numbers, and then we put the Syngap census. But that means like these are families that are connected to organizations in some way or another, and then we can get in touch with those people. So that's an exciting number, right? It's not just we know of, we can actually get in touch with those families. So that's a powerful number.
It's the only other thing I would say about this. If you want to go back for a second.
Yep.
Remember, no one is counting us except for us.
Nope.
Like when I started this, I asked the story goes, is true. And when I was diagnosed, I asked who should have been one of the world's leading experts, how many patients are there? He said, well, 1 to 200. I said, oh, that's interesting, big range. Got on Facebook group, new family diagnosed every week. A year later, I see the same guy, same conference. I said, how many patients now, doctor? 1 to 200. Well, you clearly aren't paying attention, because I know personally, I've only been here for a year. You've been studying this for a decade. I've been here for a year. I've seen 50 patients get diagnosed in the past year, and most of them have come to see you, doc. So if you had a clue, you would have just said 150 to 250. So now I know that you're making stuff up. And that's when I started the census. I said, they clearly, no one even knows the answer to how many patients we know about. So I emailed Verena in Germany and the people in the UK, all the people, all the things, and with help from Aaron Harding and Virginia and everyone else, all the OGs. And I put out a blog and I said, I think this is how many Syngapians there are, but I'm sure it's too low. And my inbox blew up. You said there were 4 in Milwaukee. We used to do it by state. There's 5 in Milwaukee or whatever, Wisconsin, whatever. And state by state, city by city, people called and said, no, that number's wrong. And now we have this machine led by Jess. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm not smart enough. Jess Duggan now is in charge. But the point of this census is, yes, it's a powerful number and it shows industry that we're growing, but it's more about this idea to me that we have to remind ourselves of. We do not have, I don't know, insert your 5 favorite diseases here, juvenile diabetes or heart disease or whatever. We have a random, very, very small, tiny, rare disease called SYNGAP1. And as a result, in addition to taking care of our loved ones, we have to also do other work. It's totally unfair. It doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. Yep. And one of those things we have to do is make sure we are counted because we're not big enough for anyone to be counting us. So this census is more than a powerful number. That is exactly right. And it is us as a community taking ownership for our existence and making sure people know we are growing and that we matter and that we are worth counting. So that's another reason why we have to encourage every family we know and all of our clinicians who know other families to get connected, to get counted, because trust me, these numbers show up and industry pays attention to this number very much. Lecture complete. Sorry.
Very good. All right, I think I covered that already on how we communicate. We talk about podcasts and webinars and educational materials, so all the different things that we already do. But what I'm really proud of on that slide are the numbers on the left side. This is a lot of work, and it shows the amount. When we talk about at the beginning of the amount of effort that and the amount of, we had 9 teams supporting SRF, and it's not just science. That is true. And those numbers, I think, are a really good indicator of this is, we have 95 webinars, 16 movies, 240 blogs, 116 volunteers, 210 patient profiles, 156 episodes of listening to Mike on Syngap 10. And then the other of subscribers on different socials and newsletters. Those are pretty large numbers for an organization, for a rare disease organization, and it takes a lot of time and efforts and really a team that is getting larger and larger. And I would say, it's pretty much all driven by families that are passionate about our work. And I want to take the time to thank every one of you guys that are involved, that are making this happen, because that's what's making us move faster, and we could not do it without you. And if you feel like you want to be part of it, because it is truly a family, we are welcoming you with open arms. There's always something to do at SRF. All right. Advocacy, that's something, and public advocacy and public policy. This is something that is led by, this is a team that is led by Jackie Kinseer, who is an incredible advocate. And it's a growing team. And there's a lot of different things that's being done on that team. From state-specific resources that's been providing to families that are needing for information on special educations like IEP, Medicaid information, and then we do have some families that are experts on some topics. Some are more, I think we have IEP specialists. We do have insurance appeal specialists, etc., that are there to also help. So Jackie's doing a really good job bringing those people in her team, and building an advocacy team, and if they need more training on specific topics that they're interested in, she's finding those trainings for those families. and helping them advocate for their kids in their community. We also have several families that have been involved in larger policy advocacy and have been in different councils and that have gone to the hills and advocate there. And so great job to all of those. I'm not going to name all of them, but just really good job to the work that you've been doing there. And we were trying to grow that team because it's really important, especially with what's happening right now. We did add an advocacy page on our website with more information on how to take actions for families who are interested in taking more actions in their own state, or how to communicate with their state representatives. And I think Jackie is hosting monthly webinars as well, and we'll have more training opportunities on this. So, and then we also partner with the Every Life Foundation, which is a strong, an incredible organization in policy and regulatory. So do you have anything to add there, Mike? This is going to be a very important team this as we get into 2025. Jackie has done an incredible job in 2024, and that team is going to grow even more, I feel like, in 2025.
Just to say, I think, you have to remember the big picture. A lot of our kids are single digits. Some of our kids are teenagers. A handful of our kids are adults. It's not a shock or a surprise that Jackie Cancer's daughter is 20 and that, Monica Meyer's son is 40. Like, these are our supersede is getting medical care. Step 2 is building community, but step 3 is once you gather your strength, getting out there and fighting for our kids. And so the purpose of this team, this growing team, is to let you know there's ways to do that really effectively. Like Every Life Rare on the Hill, you can see on the bottom there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 7 people there this year. We really should have 70 people there. Like we need to, as many Syngap parents as can possibly get there should be going, because even after we get disease modifying therapies, the need for services and support for our loved ones is not going to end. Right? It's going to improve their quality of life. It's going to improve their function. It's not going to make them neurotypical overnight. So we have to continue to fight. We have to all be caregivers, experts at self-care under pressure, and advocates for our loved ones. And what SRF is doing here is building a team of experts in-house who understand what you've got, who are teaching you how to do that. So we're here to fight for you, and then we want you to fight with us.
Yep. Well said. All right. Oh, ambassador program. What's that?
We just talked about this, right?
Yeah. Those are ambassadors. We have 47 state ambassadors and advocates covering 32 states and 2 foreign countries. So our ambassadors are the ones that we activate when we do want to do recruitment. And they do also onboarding for new families. So they're great families and helping represent SRF in each state. All right, our events and conferences. So our largest events and I'm not gonna say more important, but like one of our, well, yeah, more important. Yeah, it is. It's not a fundraiser, but it's our big event. It's our conference. So this year was the 6th annual science conference, and it was in LA. We had 22 scientists and 175 attendees. This is great. I just remember the first year that we did it. We had a small room, and I don't remember how many attendees. It kept growing though. The RSVP list kept growing, but we did not have 175 attendees. And it was a couple of hours. This is definitely, you know, we're trying to figure out how we can keep growing because like the agenda keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is really exciting, right? We're bringing the largest brain and the smartest people, and we're putting all of them in one room, and all they talk about is Syngap and the latest on research, and they all think about it for 2 days or one day on the science side, and then they connect outside of it, right? It's really exciting to see. And then after the science day, we have the family day. So families usually go, and a lot of families attend. They go to the science conference as well. But then we have the family day where we debrief the science conference. And during family day, families can participate in research and contribute to our biorepository as well. We have a family dinner, and it's a great way for families to connect in person, which is not often, we don't often connect. We all spread apart around the country. So it's like a really good for all of us to get in person and reconnect. And we have families flying from all over the world, that's the exciting part. Not with Singapian, but actually we do have the Australian families come with some of their Syngap kiddos, which is incredible. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Mike, about the conference, but it's
Just, you know,
really
the
getting
conference
bigger.
is for the scientists to learn from each other and connect. The conference is for us to be together and to support each other. And the conference is for industry
It's true.
to come and see in real life, hey, this is a community. These numbers aren't made up. These people do know each other. You know, these parents do know each other's kids' names. If you're an industry person and you've been working on 5 diseases and you've got $5 million and you can fund 2 clinical trials, you got to choose 2 trials you can fund and 3 trials you're not going to fund. And if there's any doubt in your mind that that trial is going to fill with patients, you're not going to drop $2.5 million.
Mm-mm.
That simple. So when they come to our conference and they look around and they see parents and they see kids and they see that we actually all know each other and like each other and get along and we're friends, and you got Danny running around holding other people's babies, and it's just then they're like, whoa, this is legit. I want to work with these people.
Yep.
So, you know, again, everything SRF asks you to do is a double win. It's good for you because it builds your network, it builds your resources, it builds your resilience, and it's good for the community and that by extension your kid. And so coming to the conference, I know it's hard, I know it's expensive, I know it's a pain in the butt, and it's hard to imagine traveling with your kid, but do it anyway. Because by the way, your kid's not going to get smaller, so the sooner you start practicing travel, the better. But the conference is so much more than, oh, how weird, a rare disease conference, that must be miserable. No, 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 no. It's the highlight of some people's years. And it really needs to be a part of, if you're a Syngap parent, and it's all possible, come and be together for a couple of days, turn it into a mini vacation where you know that if your kid runs away, it's cool. Someone's going to catch him.
Someone will catch it. Yeah.
We'll catch them, and your kid can bite and kick them, and we'll be like, "Ha! Is that all you got?" You know,
Yeah,
I mean, we're you
we
know,
get it.
it's the only place you can raise your hand and be like, "Does anyone have any Amphi?" I mean, so you know, come to the conference. It's amazing, and it's a real testament to the health and power of this community. Let's keep going.
Yeah, you come out of that recharged for sure. All right, our fundraisers. I can't thank enough the families that put events on top of dealing with Singapians at home. And they raise their hands and they're like, I want to organize an event and raise money for SRF. This is it's really amazing. So we last year we did the Coast to Coast. That was an online fundraiser, and we raised over $300,000, and that allowed us to fund the third Promise Clinic that is Stanford. Then we have the Sprint for Syngap. That's our annual event, and it's happening this year, next month. So we already have teams fundraising and planning their get together already. So if you are a Syngap family and you haven't set up your team yet and you're interested in that, please contact Anthony or Jess, and they can help you get set up. Or if you're not a Syngap family and you want to know how to raise or where to donate, just pick a team and donate money to Sprint for Syngap. And we have the gala. This last year was the 4th annual gala. This year is the 5th annual gala. So it's already, the save the date already went out. And then we have the Scramble for Syngap. It's a golf event in South Carolina. It will happen again this year, so watch out for look out for the date. I believe the registration, the site is already live, so you can already sign up for it. And then the UFD Tech charity stream. Also last year, I believe they're going to do that again this year. But yeah, we're very thankful for all those families for raising money, and then the $1 million back ride. Also great. Great fundraiser. So thank you for all the families for raising your hands and wanting to put an event. If you want to do that, just please reach out to us. There's so many ideas out there, so many ways to raise money in fun ways. All right. I'm going to skip through the next few slides. This is our money slides. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Mike, or you guys can find it on the.
I mean, this is here for transparency's sake.
Right.
I think a few things to call out. You could look at this and say, wow, you took in 2.4 million, you spent 2 million, how come? You have to understand that the money that goes out the door in 2024 is money that we agreed to pay in 2022 and 2023. And the money that comes in the door in 2024 lets us make new promises, right? So every year when we give a grant, these grant goes for 1 or 2 years. So it's never clean. It's not like we get money and give it directly to scientists in big bunches. We cut it into annual payments, and these agreements take way too long to put together. So that's one thing to call out. The other thing is this is super high level. So you're kind of seeing what we spend on events and what we gain from events. I don't think these numbers are fair either. They're never perfect, but sometimes people go to an event and then they go home and then they write a check and that gets classed as a donation, and that's fine, right? I think what I say to everybody is, and what I probably should have said on the last slide is, we do fundraisers to raise funds, and we do fundraisers to raise awareness of our loved ones in our local community, which is a big reason to do Sprint for Syngap. And then what you see on the balance sheet, wow, we have $2.5 million in assets. Why are we raising money? Trust me, or it's down to 2.2. We commit funds as fast as we get them. Like the board is constantly asking the question, how much uncommitted cash do we have? What are the grants before us? What should we fund? What can we fund? And so we share these numbers out of a sense of transparency, and we want you to know that we are deploying capital to improve our loved ones' futures as fast as we can with the smartest and best partners that we can find.
Yep. Right.
You want me to talk about this real quick?
Yep.
This is our SAB and our CAB. Our SAB is scientists and researchers who give us their advice. This slide's going to look a little different next year. I know Ampidori left the SAB and was replaced by Kim Wiltrout, but these are people who we have on our cell phones. These are people we text questions to. These are people who we can go to with grants. These are people who are giving us their feedback and their thoughts, and they're all working on Syngap in some way, shape, or form. It's really an important, incredible group of very strong scientists who we're lucky to work with. And the clinical side, all those people are doctors. Oh, there's Kim Wiltrout. And doctors who see Syngapians, care for Syngapians, and who know us and lend their good name to our organization, right? If you go to a patient advocacy group and you can't find any scientific advisory board or clinical advisory board, you got to say, why not? You doing something, or is this a smokescreen? So what we have here is some of the most important researchers and doctors in child neurology in the world, right? And they are happy to associate. We don't pay them anything. They are happy to associate with us, and we're grateful for their support. So this is a looks like a fluffy slide, but it's not. These names really matter.
Yeah. This is our team. I don't know if you want to say anything about the team, just the board trustee and again, the change, there's going to be a change on the board. You want to say something about that, Mike?
You mean people coming in?
Coming in, yeah.
Yeah, only that like the board, the job of the trustees is to govern and raise money, right? So the people on the green box have agreed to raise money for SRF at some substantial level and ultimately make decisions. We do not give money because I feel like it or because Virginia decides every significant expense goes before the board, and significant meaning, over a few $1,000s goes before the board and they say yes or no to grants, hiring decisions, things like that. And so these 14 people that are listed have moved mountains for SRF. And then, as Virginia just alluded, at the end of every year, some people say, I need a break. This is a lot of work, because it is a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of things to think about. And so a few people step down and a few new people raise their hands. And that there's a press release coming out about that soon that maybe Suzanne wants to talk about. But the board of trustees under the leadership of Suzanne Jones is the ultimate authority within SRF. And every single person there is related to a Syngapian. So we are so grateful to be led by parents. The directors on the purple are people who have the title of director because they work, they do something, they lead, not they work, we all work, they lead, right? And they lead a team or they make sure something happens. So Anthony's leading fundraising, Jackie Cancier, advocacy, Ed Gabler, communications, Corey, patience, Catherine, science, Kevin, legal, Lauren, damn near everything, Lindsay, repurposing, Marcia, clinical, Stacy, the conference, Stephanie, finance, Virginia, all of us. Like Aaron Harding, just like master of all, just jumps in on any grenade that seems to have dropped. Ashley's on there as a director, but she's one of the founders. She gets to be a director. But that both of these groups of people are parents of Syngapians who have moved mountains and are moving mountains every single day for our kids. But I wanted to delineate: green, governance, fundraising, big fundraising; purple, leaders, people doing work every day in their spare time that none of us have to improve the futures for our kids.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting at time.
Let's finish up.
Let's finish. All right. That's a tough slide. So this past year, we unfortunately our community lost Annie Peck, and I think it was a good reminder to all of us that we, for her and all those kiddos, this is what we're fighting for, right? This is why we need to keep working really hard, and this is why we need to keep working as fast as we can and keep moving mountains. So this is it. We're done.
Any questions? All right. Well, that's the impact report, guys. It's available on our website.
Yep.
puresyngap1.org/IR24. Share it with your families. Share it with your friends. Tell them what we're doing. Tell them there's an organization here that can help you, that can help your loved one. Hopefully this gets a lot of use, and I can't wait to see next year's.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.